time so we can make this happen for our Arizona people who don't change their time, which
We appreciate it.
I'm all in favor of that. Hi, Carla. So, if you're with me, we're going to discuss something I don't usually discuss in class because I don't teach it while I'm teaching. So, I'm going to put it on you to learn it. What we're going to talk about is our breathing while we're in class. All right. We're going to talk about inhalation and exhalation. Every time we exhale our air, we are engaging our diaphragm, which works with our pelvic floor, it works with our core, it works with our spine. The diaphragm kind of holds everything together. So, what we want to be doing when we're exerting force is we want to be contracting that diaphragm. We want it to be squeezing too. And to get that to squeeze, we want to exhale. I don't know if you're like me, but often been in an exercise class or maybe a yoga class, and they're telling you, okay, inhale, exhale, and you're doing a movement. I find myself like messing up my movement because I'm kind of trying to keep up with my breathing or vice versa. So I'm putting this on you. You know when you're exerting your force, that is when you need to exhale. I will remind you throughout this set when we are exerting. You put it in your head, oh, I need to be exhaling. Don't let it mess you up. Continue on with what you're doing. This takes practice to exhale on exertion. I want you to think of a chest press. If you're laying back on a bench and you've got this weighted bench and you're getting ready to push those weights away from you, that is your exertion. That's when you want to exhale. You want to push out that force. You want to exhale. You want to tighten up this diaphragm. So keep that image in your mind as we're working through these movements because we have different ways we'll be exerting force. And I want you to understand the exertion part of the exercise too. So I might cue you, this is the exertion. And so with that being said, we're going to start with just sitting up here and exerting force into our diaphragm just by simply bending forward. So what I want you to do is drop your chin to your chest. And now I want you to exhale and round your body forward. So as you exhale, what are you doing? You're pushing your navel into your spine. And then come back up and just get your breath. So I want you to think of that again. When we exhale, more often than not, our navel's going to go right to our spine. That's huge. That is the way to stabilize our body. So let's do it again. Just as you round forward, I want you to exhale and see what happens right down here. And come up. So let's try it one more time without the exhale, just like you would just round over and not even think about it. And see if that changes in your body, what's going on down here. Just round forward. You kind of feel yourself just kind of slumping forward. So let's do it again with the exhale. Go ahead and exhale as you round forward. See how much control, see how good your posture is as we do that? One more time, we're going to try it without being mindful of our breath. Just round forward. I don't know about you, but I feel my shoulders kind of slump down. I feel like I'm slumping down into my hips and I'm just leaning over. So that's the difference. That being said, let's do some spine rolls. Let's get some movement through our spine right now. So let's go to hands and knees. So while we're on hands and knees, we're setting up our tabletop. Remember, we want a strong table. Our hands are right under our shoulders. Our knees are right under our hips. Good job. Now we're going to use our exertion as we do this. I want you to just let your feet flatten into the floor. We're going to round our spine just like we did when we were seated. So you know where the exertion is. So go ahead and exhale on this exertion. Round your spine. You're bringing your spine towards the ceiling. Your navel is in towards your spine. And what are you doing? You're exhaling. Now just give it an inhale and let everything drop. Nice. Okay. Contract. Pull that belly in. Exhale, 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 exhale. I'm going to put this back on you. You know when to do it. Lift the chin and let everything drop. Now we're going to add our child's pose to this. So go ahead and round your back. You know what you're supposed to be doing with that breath. Round your back. Sit back, sit back, sit back to your heels. Keep it round. Drop your elbows to the floor. Catch your breath as you slide your chest up to your hands and knees. Let's do that again. So you're bringing your navel into your spine. You're sitting back, sitting back, sitting back, sitting back, mindful of our breath as we release it here to come on back up. Good job, good job. So let's do a little spinal rotation at this point. So what I want you to do is I want you to take your hand and place it under your, right under your breastbone. Or under your breastbone. Then go ahead and sit back on your heels, and you've got your elbow lodged right between your knees. So what I want you to do here, and we're lodging this and we're tucking in real tight here before we go into spinal rotation because we want to lock out our lumbar spine. We want to lock out our low back. We don't need the rotation coming back from back there. We want to encourage the rotation to come from the area by our rib cage. That's the area of your spine that rotates. Your lumbar back is supposed to bend and flex. So go ahead and put your hand right on the back of your low back. And I want you to exhale on it. This will be your exertion, is twisting, twisting, twisting open, twisting open. Open up and look around the room. Look around the room for a bit. That elbow that's inside your knee can be pushing against your leg. Give you a little more force into that opening. And you can come back with an exhale. Catch your breath. We're going to create some tightness in our diaphragm. You know what to do. Open it up, open it up. Nice. And take it back down. So I'm going to come back up to hands and knees. We're going to switch hands. I'm going to turn around. You don't have to see my back. You guys stay like you are. Let's drop back to our child's pose. The other hand goes behind our back, and we're going to rotate the rib cage. Rotate the rib cage. This is your exertion. So think of the two E's, exertion and exhale. And bring it back, or I guess we should say exertion and exhalation. This is your exertion. Engage that whole diaphragm. And bring it back. Okay, let's grab our yoga blocks. We're going to go on our backs. And once again, we're gonna just monitor how that diaphragm is helping us when we exhale. So when we do this, I won't make you do it twice because I don't want you to just plop into the floor. I want you to claim your exertion. I want you to claim that exhalation, all right? So take a breath in. And when you're ready, this is on your own time, we're going to roll back down to the floor with exertion. So we're pulling our navel into our spine. And once you're to the floor, you can take a nice inhale when your body is ready. Like I said in the beginning, this is not about what my body's doing and how I'm inhaling and exhaling. You have to just practice this over and over, and it becomes subconscious that you're exhaling on exertion, exhaling on exertion. Train your body to do that. So remember the chest press, that's our exertion. Well, we're going to do a hip lift. Lifting the hips up is our exertion. So what I want you to do is I want you to put your hands on the floor And we're going to squeeze our glutes together. That's the start of your exertion, but you don't need to start exhaling there. But squeeze your glutes together. What our goal is to keep these hip bones, the pointy part of our hip bones, going evenly straight up to the ceiling. So you're squeezing your glutes on the back side. You're going to exert here as you lift your hips. Hold it up there. And then slowly lower it down. And I'm just going to give you a second in between each of these to just get your breathing regulated, because I really want you to focus on this whole class on that exhale. Your body will automatically inhale when it needs to, but I want you to focus on the exhale. So let's do it again. We're going into the exertion. First, I want you to squeeze your glutes. Then we're lifting these hip bones nice and even. Nice and slow. Remember, this is a controlled movement class. We're teaching our body how to move efficiently. And you hold it up there. Hold it up there. Now keep that squeeze in the glutes as you lower it down, lower it down, lower it down. And let's regulate our breathing a little bit. We're going to do that again. Be mindful of your glutes. You're squeezing those butt cheeks together first. You're thinking of these hip bones sticking up to the ceiling. And they're going nice and level, nice and even, nice and even. This is your exertion. And slowly lower it down. With control, with control, with control. Okay, we're going to change this up a bit. We're going to set the yoga block aside. And I want you to take your feet just a tad wider apart. A little wider than hip width, but not too wide. So we're going to open the hips and close the hips with our bridge. So what I want you to do right now is just turn your feet out. Turn them out. Good. We're still working with our exertion. So we're going to squeeze our glutes and we're going to lift our hips to the ceiling. This is your exertion. We've got our toes pointed out. We're changing the position of how our hips are sitting in our hip sockets, or how our legs are sitting in the hip socket. And keep squeezing as you lower down. Could be a little shakier this way. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to keep our heels where they are, but we're going to turn our toes in. We're changing again the direction of how our hips are sitting in the hip socket. All right, go ahead and lift, 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 lift. Lift, 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 lift. You might find you get higher with the legs one way than the other. You might find a difference between left and right. And take it down. Let's go ahead, keep our heels where they are. Turn our toes out again. And give it a lift with your exertion. Remember, we're engaging this diaphragm, your pelvic floor. All the stuff that holds us in place is all around here, but it goes through to the back. So make it strong. Make it strong. And lower it down. And this is especially important if you're a woman and you've had children, okay? You need this retraining of all this area. So this, once again, take our heels, keep them where they are, but just turn our feet in. And I don't want you feeling torquing in your knees. If you're feeling torquing in your knees, don't turn your feet in or out quite as far. You should not be feeling this in your knees. Here's your exertion. What do? You exhale. At your own pace. At your own pace. And let's lower it down. Okay, let's do one more set of these. Go ahead, heels stay in place, toes turned out. We really want to concentrate on the breathing this one. So go ahead and when you lift, I want you to exhale. slowly lower down. You might actually be holding your breath a little bit at this point. Once you're down or as you're lowering, you can kind of inhale. Now catch your breath, make it even. Turn your toes in, heels stay in place. Go ahead and lift the hips again. Lift, 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 lift. We're working on internal and external rotation with these hips. Okay. Let's go ahead and turn over our stomachs and practice our exertion breathing on our stomachs. So we're going to do some superhumans or superwomen today, okay? So this is really important, and we've talked about this before. I've mentioned before, like pretending like you have a grape right under your belly button, and you don't want to smash that grape as you lift your arms and legs off the floor. But let's just go ahead and put your face towards the floor, or you can put your forehead on the floor. I like mine slightly lifted off the floor. And I just want you looking at the top edge of your mat. You're not looking up extremely. You're not looking down extremely. You're just kind of, your gaze is out in front of you. So from here, the exertion is going to be when we lift our hands and our legs off the floor. So I want you to get your nice breath in before you do it. So this is on your own time. And you're going to lift the arms and legs. So as you're exerting that force, you're pulling your navel. As you're exhaling, you're pulling your navel off the floor. It's strengthening your back. And then bring it down. And we're just going to practice this, okay? I want you to practice. The exhale goes when you lift, but I want you to be on your own time. I want your breathing to be coordinated with your move. So when you're ready, do your thing. Exhale as you lift. Keep holding, keep holding, keep holding, and lower down with control. Like I said, this takes practice, so let's do it again. You are on your own time. The exhale comes when you lift. You're bringing your navel into your spine. Keep holding if you can. Keep holding if you can. You're squeezing those glutes on the backside as well. And lower it down. All right, good job. So now we're going to come up to our knees. And I want you to grab your yoga block again. I think this is probably the best way to show you this. So I've got my knees about hip width apart. And I like to curl my toes under because I think it takes the pressure off my knees as I do this. But what I want you to do, I'll demonstrate it first. Your exhale is as we lean back, we're going to be pushing our arms away and we're going to lean back as far as we're comfortable. What I don't want to see is I don't want you bending at the hips and sitting back. So we're keeping a nice, strong plank body right here. Think of yourself in a plank. So what we're going to do is I'm going to exhale as I push my arms away and lean my body back, and then come forward and then inhale. Okay, so your exertion is actually both sides of the move. So we're going to make it quick so you don't feel like you're going to be holding your breath too long. So what we're going to do is as we send our body back towards our heels, we're going to push our arms away, and we're pushing gently into our yoga block. So go ahead and exhale as you go back, lean back as far as you're comfortable, and then bring it back and inhale. Catch your breath. Exertion, push back and come back. Good job. Remember, we're exhaling, pulling that navel into our spine. So we're holding everything nice and strong. And bring it in. Good job. All right. So I hope you guys are good on your knees. If you're not, you can put a little cushioning under your knees. But I'm also going to show you another one with a split knee stance. So one knee will get a break. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a little wood chop, okay? But we're also going to be engaging the diaphragm. So we're going to be with a split stance. My right foot is out in front of me. My left foot is behind me. You can have a flat foot or curl your toes. And what we're going to do is we're going to place the yoga block right out in front of us, okay? Now, when you're here, I want you to make yourself nice and strong. So that front foot is pushing down into the floor. You're pulling your right hip back, putting that front hip back into you. And your left leg is pushing down into the floor. So as you exhale, we're going to bring the yoga block down between our legs. As we exhale, we're going to twist towards the front bent leg. So exhale, twist, bring it back. Exhale, twist, bring it back. This move is awesome for any kind of pelvic floor dysfunction. So exhale, twist, bring it back. Remember, we're pulling this right hip back into the socket. We're pushing down with the back of the left leg. Nice and strong in our split squat. And bring it down. Okay, let's switch sides. So now I've got my left foot in front. So I'm going to push that foot into the floor. I'm going to make it nice and strong. And I'm going to squeeze the backside here. And I've got my arms between my legs. Now, as I exhale, I'm rotating towards that front leg. And I'm coming back. This is our exertion. What do you do on exertion? Rotate. And I'm coming back. Now, if you find you're wobbling a lot or something, adjust your legs. Make sure that right foot is really pushing in and you're really engaging right through here, okay? And exhale and twist. You're nice and strong. Let's do one more. Exhale as you twist towards that bent leg. And bring it down. All right, good job, good job, good job. I hope you learned how to engage your diaphragm, how it's so important to time it throughout all your exercise, but it's something that's got to come natural. You can't like just try to always be catching up. It will come natural if you just tune into your own body. That being said, let's do some arm circles. Let's get these shoulders going a little bit before we end up. So what I want you to do is get our golfer's grip. What's our golfer's grip? Let's put our palms face up. What I want you to do is just turn in at the knuckles, fold in at the end of the knuckles. We don't want a fist. We want a nice open palm. So my palm's open, my thumb's pointing out. We've got a big space right here. Very important. Now, go ahead and stretch your arms out wide with your palms facing down. So your thumbs are facing forward. We're going to circle the direction our thumbs are facing. So go ahead and circle. And as you're circling, I want you to reach your arms far apart from each other. Reach your arms far apart. Go ahead and reach them out. And I bet you're finding that you're pulling that belly button in a little while you're doing this. We want to be able to sit tall. We want to be able to use that diaphragm as we work on this. Keep circling, keep reaching, keep circling, keep reaching, and drop it down. Nice. Let's go the other direction. We don't want to be lopsided. So go ahead and open your palms, fold your tips of your fingers in, thumbs are out wide, stretch your arms out with your palms up. Now your thumbs are facing behind you, so you're going to circle back. Circle back. Go ahead and circle. Circle, circle, reaching wide, opening up all the space around our shoulder girdle. This is activating all your rotator cuff muscles, getting them to work in sync. You have 4 rotator cuff muscles. They hold that shoulder joint in place. And be grateful that your shoulders are in place. because I know someone whose shoulders are not in place, and it's my son, and I love him, and I'm trying to fix him. Go ahead and take it down. Little personal interest there. So now we got all this blood flow going through our shoulders. I want you to take a nice inhale in. You're exerting as you lift your arms up. You're pulling that navel into your spine. Let's just release it as we exhale and take our arms down. As you did that, did you feel that tuck in? Let's do that again. Take a big breath in. And let's blow it out and send our navel back to our spine. Have a great day. I hope you learned how to breathe, and I hope you practice it. Practice it all day long as you're just sitting around. Just get that breathing in tune with your movement, and your movement will work so much better. Thanks, ladies.
Bye, Chris.
Bye. Do I need to make Tina a host?
Yeah.
I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Have a great day.
You too. See you next week.
Okay.
Tina, I'm running to the restroom, okay?